Hello, today I want to talk about a framework I've been using um, to navigate my life, and I think it is a framework that can be applied to many different contexts and situations. I recently finished my coaching education, which was a basic course for 2 years, and it prepared me in becoming a coach and being available for other individuals and organizations in their own process of self-development, self-fulfillment, communication, authenticity, self-expression, and so on. And I was giving a final presentation about my own process the last 2 years, how I've experienced the, the coaching workshops, how I see myself today. And for this presentation, I was using the framework um, to tell my story basically and my experience. And the framework consists of three parts: um, my past, my present, and my future. Or where do I come from? Who am I? Where do I want to go? And even when I navigate my life, I'm using this framework to think about it. And I noticed also that I've been spending a lot of my time, focus, and energy on the past. In the past, I've been doing that a lot. And I didn't do it in a way that that helped me reduce the time or energy, let's say, that I was spending in the past. Uh, I was kind of going into loops while going back into my memories or into old feelings, and I just kept living in the past in a way. Of course, no one can actually live in the past, but for a large part of my day, for example, I would my focus, my attention was in the past. But at some point in my life, I started to really process my past, because there had been a lot of things, events or memories or feelings in my past that I hadn't processed. And I think this is the key difference, that I'm not going in a loop, I'm going kind of in a one-time processing, and after that one time, it is processed. So that might be, I had a memory where I experienced something bad and I was sad, and maybe I cried or maybe I didn't cry. But something about this experience was kind of still living in me. And by reconnecting with that experience and reliving it in a way, and accepting all the feelings that come up, and really let them out, feel them, whether I'm upset and I need to cry, I'm angry and I need to, like, I have the feeling I want to destroy something, maybe I shout or I run or I hit a pillow or I'm jealous or happy, even maybe I miss something, all these different feelings, they want to be felt. And as long as they are not felt, at least my experience is like this, that the past keeps living in me, inside of me. And if I relive the memory and really process the feelings, and I let my inner, grudge or regret go, the memory stays, right? I still remember, but there is a lighter feeling in my heart. For example, I can look at this memory with a different feeling than before. It's more like, is the word equanimity, I think. Um, it's a lighter feeling. It's a feeling of acceptance. Um, Maybe gratitude. It depends on the memory. I'm not grateful for everything I've experienced. Um, I think it would be possible. It's another step of my evolution, I would say. But at least I can let go of the mm, attention I gave into the past. Because the past already happened, and it is important and it is helpful to understand where you're coming from. Even about half a year ago, I reconnected with uh, my father's side of the family, which I didn't have any contact with them before in my life, and this had such a profound impact on my life to reconnect with my roots. Uh, so I really know how important it is to understand where you're coming from. But even you know, if you knew all your both your parents' families when you were growing up, you can still um, take more take more initiative and take a more active approach in really finding out, for example, uh, who are your parents, what did they experience growing up, how was their general life history going, what about their parents. So now you already have at least six people that you can research, and I'm really sure that that exercise will have a lot of positive impact on your life. Because if you understand where you are coming from, if you understand where your parents are coming from, that can be in a geographical sense, in a philosophical sense, in a historical sense, in any kind of sense where they are coming from, you also start to better understand yourself and the world. You can understand better uh, why your parents, or maybe even their siblings, like your uncles and aunts, why they behave a certain way, for example, or why they treated you a certain way in a certain memory in the past. Basically, it gives you more context that helps you understand what happened to you, what you experienced, what they experienced, and all of this leads to you understanding yourself better. And you know, all these spiritual practices and philosophies and so on, the focus often is on the present, because the present is right now, right? Every single millisecond, or whatever smallest time unit you want to take, happens right now. And this is life. Like, life happens right now. But normally, or I personally, I can say I'm not usually experiencing this moment right now to its fullest extent, and therefore I'm kind of losing out on the experience of life. Um, Sometimes I'm taking the moment to its fullest extent, and it's overwhelming. Sometimes I need to start to cry, for example, when there's nothing, like I was basically just taking in the beauty of the moment, and it's just too much emotions for me. But it's also really beautiful. So the point here is that, at least for me, it was the case that my attention and my awareness was always distracted going to the past. And I've been working also with the coaching training, for example, and with other self-development practices, journaling, meditation, just talking to other people, and so on. More and more, I was processing my past, and kind of the ratio shifted from majority of my awareness was in the past, and now I would say the majority of my awareness is in the present and in the future. So the present and also who I am, what do I experience right now, who I am and where am I, who am I and where am I? Because, for example, like where am I is kind of, it's a question about, for example, professionally, where do I stand right now? I know where I come from. I had certain experiences. I had a professional, like an educational curriculum. But where am I right now in my career, for example? Where am I right now in my interests? Do I spend enough time, or the time that is appropriate for me, with my hobbies? Is there an interest that I'm not cultivating, but I would really like to cultivate it? Is there an aspect in my life that I'm not happy with? All of these questions are about me and my current state, like in life, my life standing. For example, right now I have the feeling I could I would feel better if I would do exercises more frequently. If my mind is always in the past, I wouldn't come up with this insight, right? So the presence is about life, taking life to its fullest, but also about taking a stop. Where am I? Am I happy? Which aspects of my life do I want to grow? Which aspects of my life give me strength and energy, and so on. So past, present, future. I really love the future. I would say I'm in a stage in my life where I think a lot about my future now. Sometimes with some fear, but most of the times more like I'm imagining all that's possible in the future, because I would say there are some bigger projects that you cannot just like make appear like in a second. So you need to visualize that project or that state of the world in the future, and then you can derive, like, there's this term working backwards. Like, let's say I want to run a marathon in 3 months. Then I can, if I know where I am right now, and in 3 months I want to run a marathon, I can run backwards. What do I need to do every day until I get there? I will definitely not run a marathon in 3 months. This was just an example. But the ability to look into the future and like focus your attention, and not only your attention, but like define steps on your way to this future is amazing. You know, like you can literally create the future. Like, isn't this amazing? Like, you come up with some state of the world you want to see, and you really visualize it clearly. It's so clear in your mind and in your heart, and then you can really, it's kind of mechanically, you can mechanically come up with a plan. How will you reach it? And then comes the interesting part, which is execution. You have the plan, and then you walk along this plan, and even if you walk one step, your perspective changed, the state of the world changed, and maybe it turns out that vision you had, let's say it would be 3 months into the future, you walk one day, uh, either that vision changed, you learn something new, which means that vision into the future, you have a better understanding how that vision is better for you. You have a greater vision, or maybe a vision that is more in alignment with yourself. So after one step, you learn something. The state of the world changes. You adjust, and this is then actually for me. It's kind of a grind, but it's also really fun and interesting to go down this path. And if you take steps anyway in your life, like whether or not you do, whether or not you're aware of it, days go by. You exist physically. Your body does things, and I think if you have if you have defined and specific, let's say, work packages in your life or aspects of your life, and you go into the direction of really creating those aspects in your life, partnership, career, exercise, some hobbies, your creativity, where you live, the like your working schedule, um, friendships, social contact, how you are expressing yourself, what clothes you choose to wear, what languages you speak, everything is for you to decide and to create. And still, the foundation of it all is the presence, is who you are, which after you get with your past, you have a better understanding of that. And then on that foundation, it's also almost like, you build a tower, the foundation is kind of a tower, and you stand on top of it, and you look into the future and create yourself and your life according to this, according to your own feeling. Yeah. This was quite long presentation now. I will summarize it again, because you can use the framework also in other contexts. I've been writing a poem collection actually, and I also divided it into 3 chapters: my past, myself, my horizons. If you want to pitch a company, if you want to pitch your startup, you can use this framework. Where are you coming from? Where are you now? Where are you going? And if you navigate your life, you can use this framework. If you meet someone new, you can ask them, what's your background? What are your interests right now? And where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is getting you up in the morning? What's one project that gets you so excited, that keeps you motivated, and maybe to work after work on it? Or what gets you, what lets you stay up before going to sleep because you're thinking about it so much that you want to work on this project again? Yeah, I've been having great success following that framework, and I'm sure it can be refined a lot, but I hope that this could be useful for you. And if you have any thoughts or comments, I would love to hear about them. And yeah, see you next time.